So let's start with a pretty simple question. I think one that would probably be pretty easy. How does the College of Engineering, um, how do they find potential internships for students?
Uh, Basically, industries approach us actually.
Mm-hmm.
In majority of the cases, industries approach us and they send in inquiries and so on. That's one. Second, we actually have a lot of invited speakers from industries in and around Jonesboro. So when they come and meet with the students and so on, they tell them of opportunities, etc. And the students, of course, get to meet with the engineering managers or the engineers or the HR people, and then pretty much the conversation takes off from there. And of course, the third is because of the enormous demand, we get a lot of inquiries by email. And I've been kind of acting as point on this. And so what I do is when I get emails and either calls or emails, and many of these, believe it or not, are from our former students who work in these industries. They know that we've got students who are graduating. So what I do is I pretty much make up some form of a notice and we post it as well as we email it to all the students so that they come to know about it. And not just that, many of us as faculty, when we know that we've got juniors and seniors in our class, we encourage them by verbally announcing in class as well. So, as widely as possible, we try and disseminate that information so that students come to know.
From what I understand, this semester there's been a large number of internship opportunities come in. What do you think? Is the numbers been higher this semester than, let's say, previous ones?
I would say the last maybe about 2 to 3 semesters, there has been enormous interest. And of course, I mean, it basically reflects on how good our graduates are. I should say that because the feedback that we've received is really been tremendous. Everywhere that our engineers have worked as interns, they've done a damn good job. So obviously, that word of mouth factor as well as performance factor and so on. Plus, we also find, at least I've observed, that we've had many new companies move into our area, and obviously, they look for people and so on. There are some companies who are expanding, and obviously, they look for people and so on and so forth. So, and you have instances where some of the engineers are leaving or they're moving up and so on, or they're posted elsewhere. So, to fill in all these vacancies invariably. And I think having interns is a very good idea because essentially you're getting students who are going to work on it, you can observe them, you can train them, and so on. And I find that invariably the majority of these students, if they're interested, actually after they graduate, they're absorbed as full time engineers in the same company.
All right. What could you say is the best part? Let me rephrase that. How does this benefit the College of Engineering?
Well, one, of course, is the exposure. Two, it's the feedback that we get from our former students. It can come in the form of projects, it can come in the form of alumni donation, it can come in the form of uh, anything that they can contribute in kind. We've got a lot of projects from several of the local companies, and we continue to get that. So that essentially, this is a never-ending loop, kind of. So the students work on it, they go out on internship, they get jobs and everything, and then again they give back. So it is the giving back, I think, plays a big role. And not only that, it's engineering earns a good name, the college earns a good name. And that again reflects on prospective students. So when high school students get to hear that, obviously they want to come to A State.
So it's kind
So
of like a
it's kind
snowball.
of exactly. It's got a tremendous effect, and we're hoping, long term that this continues, and because the numbers are growing, I know especially in mechanical engineering, the numbers are growing, and we've had tremendous interest because of the kind of projects that we do, both in class and in senior design and so on. So we are extremely optimistic. We are extremely optimistic on this.
All right. Do you do you say that some of these internships? What exactly is expected of a student when they get an internship?
See, there are a couple of things the industries do. One is, of course, they can put the student on a project or two during the internship period. Let's say, for example, a student takes up a summer internship. So that's approximately 3 months. They may put the student on a complete project, or they may make the student shadow an engineer. So he just walks around with one or two or three of the engineers, see what the process is about and everything, and helps them out as and when required. Some of our students do a lot of design, some of them do CAD drawings, some of them are on the shop floor, and so on and so forth, and they end up learning the process, and they can help in different other ways as well. So this is essentially what they do. And we also have an option where students can actually become interns and get internship credit in lieu of an elective. For example, in mechanical engineering, we've got an elective called professional development elective. So we've got certain terms for that in the sense that we tell the student that you have to work on a project, at least majority of the time, and then give us periodic progress reports, and then towards the end, submit a final report and you get credit for that. So it's a win-win for everyone. It's win for the student, win for us, win for the company. So.
Okay. There are organizations in Jonesboro, like for instance Jonesboro Unlimited, that try and help organize things between the college and companies. What would you say is important when trying to kind of organize a new line of internships? So let's say a new company comes in. How would you kind of communicate the?
Basically, one of the things, I'll give you an example. Two of the groups that help us is our career services and our development office. So one of the things, of course, they come in when they have a conversation with us. It's a question of how many graduates, who are the students, what are their majors, and so on and so forth. And then we give them some of the details. And then from the industry side, it's a question of what are they looking for. And then so essentially it's a question of matchmaking. If they say we want mechanical engineers with some CAD experience, or if they say we want mechanical engineers who can do some PLC programming, then definitely, we can provide those. But if it is something that we cannot provide, we can always kind of talk about it, talk through it, and meet halfway in the sense, and invariably the companies are all willing to train the students, train the interns, so to speak. So either way, it all depends on what they need and what we can provide. If our students have the right background, then it's a no-brainer.
How did you, so you said for the last several semesters, it's been kind of an increase in the number of internship opportunities being given here. What was your opinion of, or how do you feel about that?
Oh, it's fantastic because, see, in many of these cases, the internships have led to job opportunities. And not just that, the students have gained enormous experience. And especially when I talk to them and they tell me how much fun they've had working at the company, doing design or doing the drawings or working with the engineers and going into the field and solving problems and so on and so forth. That's tremendous because all said and done, engineering is a hands-on profession. And this opens them up to a lot of possibilities. And all said and done, at the end of the day, when the students are looking for jobs, an internship on the resume actually speaks volumes. It's a lot better than simply having completed coursework. Because it tells the prospective employer that this particular student can actually think on his or her feet. Given a problem, they'll know how to approach a problem. They'll know how to communicate. They'll know how to work as part of a team, and so on and so forth, which is what industries look for. And also, of course, they have the appropriate technical background.
um, one of the things that we're kind of interested about is if there is if there's going to be this continued growth, do you feel that there's going to be maybe a potential where the College of Engineering might have difficulties filling these roles? You mentioned about.
I might, well, I won't use the word difficult, but I will say that the industries have to come up and offer them suitable positions, or make it more attractive in terms of the project work as well as the pay and so on and so forth, so that the student will end up coming to them. Because right now, it's the students have got a damn good market. I mean, they can actually pick and choose who they want to work with, even jobs for that matter. So the industries will have to step up and provide the kind of environment that the students are looking for. Some of the students have told me that they will not work in an XYZ environment, for example, or they would only like to do this and or that, and so on and so forth. So the industries will somehow have to come and do something about that in terms of offering the right job, right environment, and the right compensation, I would say, so that it's attractive to the student to come and work with them.
Alright. Very important to know. Let's see here if I can think of anything else real quick. What would you say is the most important thing that the College of Engineering is going to do moving forward?
Okay, in what sense?
How will you continue to try and get this growth to continue?
Well, basically, good recruitment and providing the appropriate courses and hands-on practice in our labs, and doing, again, project-related work in both in courses and in our senior design and so on, and essentially making sure that the students have the capabilities that the industry is looking for. And that is very important. And we kind of keep track of that indirectly, because we do get feedback from the industries and several of our contacts, several of our former students who actually inform us as to what is happening with the market and what would be good for engineering at this stage. Because in different phases, you find that the scene changes and we have to adjust accordingly. Be it in the course or be it in the lab, we have to actually do that. And that is where we have a critical role to play, and make sure that our students understand that and we bring that to the classroom.
Alright. Is there anything else you would like to say?
No, basically, I'm extremely optimistic, and I'm actually really thrilled that so many of our students are actually interning. I would safely say at least 2/3, if not more, of our students have either interned or continue to intern somewhere or the other. And it is going to help them tremendously in obtaining jobs. And I know for a fact several of our students have already accepted jobs at the place where they had interned or have interned, or many of the students who are currently interns have been promised jobs once they graduate, which is probably in a matter of a semester or so. So all these are advantages as from the student's point of view. And obviously we are going to do everything to facilitate, help these people obtain the best positions that they can.
So, let's see here. I'm going to try and think of one more question real quick. Obviously, with all this kind of stuff benefiting the students, and also, as you've stated, it comes back and it benefits the College of Engineering, and that benefits Arkansas State University. So,
And our community in general, absolutely.
so, well, thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
I can't really think of anything more I'd like to say, so.
No problem at all. You're most welcome.